my name's Dyan Spence. I'm Head of Centre, just newly appointed within South Lanarkshire Council, and I'm in a family centre which supports children from age 0 to up to 5. So my main responsibilities would be supporting families, introducing new children into the centre, working with staff on continually improving and building up those relationships, those real key relationships with the children, their families and partnership agencies as well. It has been just within the past kind of 6 months that I've started this role, but have sort of worked my way through early years as a practitioner on the floor, working with the children as a key worker, through the kind of managerial pathway to head of centre where I am at the moment. It's a hugely rewarding position, and it's something that I'm really passionate and excited about taking on, and working really collaboratively with the partnership agencies and in terms of sort of Care Inspectorate and Education Scotland to continually to improve the service for our children and families. So it was really in high school. I was sort of undecided between going into children's nursing or early years. I always had a sort of affinity for working with children and would always be at family events and things, always, running about with like the Pied Piper with a wee group of children. But really it was my work experience, so I'd chosen to work in a volunteer in a nursery during work experience, and I think I'd got to lunchtime on the first day and thought, this is my career, this is for me. But yeah, got to that stage, and I think, I was at that point in the day and thinking, this is just fascinating watching these little people learn and explore. And so it was through that week-long work experience where I built those relationships just across the week, that I then went on to volunteer through the summer holidays of that year. So that's something that I would always encourage people that are interested in early years, if they're still at school, to do that during holiday periods or even after school. We've got some volunteers that come in at 3 o'clock after school to come in for an hour or so, and it just sort of stemmed from there to look into different colleges to see where I would be able to study, and really kind of went from there. But it's something that I'd always sort of been really interested in learning more about, and just that once I started sort of reading and researching more, I realised that the fascinating world of early years and developing a little mind. Really, I think the key part is relationships. So before you can really support people or model or work alongside people, you've got to build those key relationships. In the past few months, that's been really key to me, is building those relationships with the team, with the children, with the parents, to build that up. So I think just being able to recognise your key strengths, but also recognise in times that you've maybe not done something the best way you could, and it's about being human. It's about, I'm a leader and a manager, but I'm not perfect. That we all make mistakes, so it's working together and reflecting. So a big part of that is always kind of reflecting back and working, within reason, but you've been reasonable and working with people to build those relationships up. When I'd done my work experience, I started my NC and HNC through the Glasgow College of Nautical Studies, which is not there anymore. So yeah, that was a 2-year course where I had weekly placements, which was in nurseries, that gave me the chance to really develop my skills, and from there I went into my first job when I qualified from college. I worked there for a long time, but unfortunately it was part of the tax centre, and the nursery was closed, so we were all made redundant at the time. And it was a very kind of comfortable environment where we were all very familiar and friendly, so I think it was just given that wee nudge to go and look for something else, to then got through local authority, and was then sort of interested in doing my BA. So when I started doing my BA, a lot of kind of more theory and development in terms of my leadership skills and things came into place. And that was a really kind of pivotal part, because it just sort of unlocked all this knowledge and interest in research and the theory behind child development, really. You know, and I was really, really fortunate to have a supportive family who, you know, worked really closely with me to give me time when I did assignments, and you know, and that was so rewarding for my husband and my son to come and see me graduate, because they'd seen me sort of through that time. You ever really kind of stop learning in early years? I think if you do, you're you know, maybe coming to the end of the career path, because there's always more to learn. I don't think you ever kind of reach a point in early years and think, I know everything that there is to know. You know, and I think that's one of the really exciting and challenging things about early years, is that there's always more to learn. There's always more new research, and as children develop and learn, our research has to change, because, you know, our children now are very different to children 20, 30 years ago. So it's about, you know, keeping up to date with all the new research and information that's out there. Successes have definitely been sort of just those sort of little daily moments sometimes, where you maybe see a breakthrough in communication with a parent who's maybe been feeling really overwhelmed, or you know, a child taking a step in the right direction where you've got something that you've been working on. So I always remember having a child who was neurodiverse, and eating was a real struggle for him. Mum had sort of encouraged us to try him with a yogurt like every day, and we did this for sort of 6 months, and he would just keep his mouth closed. He just wouldn't open his mouth. And then that day when he turned to us and opened his mouth for the first time, and for some people might be like, you know, big deal, but you know, when you're a practitioner and you see that child developing that trust, and it's just those little kind of moments in the everyday that really make the difference. A success has been through the different kind of roles that I've played and working in different settings. So this is a big setting that I'm in from 0 to 5. I've been in you know, 3 to 5s, worked in baby rooms, and so yeah, I think a lot of the success has been just seeing the team develop and seeing the staff team motivated. And we have a very motivated and hard-working staff team that I'm working with now, and you know, it's immense. It makes me immensely proud, because they are motivated. We did really well at a recent care inspection. You know, it's the achievement of others as well. And as I say, when I graduated, and not to say that I wouldn't go on and do masters or look at something in the future, but for my family to see that, for my husband and my son to see me develop through that, is really rewarding, hugely rewarding. Setbacks, I think, would be times that you've maybe gone for jobs and things, and you think, actually, in reflection, maybe I wasn't ready. You know, you always think, I can do that, but a certain path that you think you might take is taking you in a different direction, and sometimes it has been in an environment where you're not always the happiest, and there's, you know, sometimes it does challenge you, and you know, I did have a role where I wasn't very settled, and I didn't really agree with the managerial style, but it pushed me in a way to be stronger, but also to know where my values were, and to think, actually, that's not how I would be as a leader. And you know, so that at the time felt like a real setback and was very hard, but has pushed me in different ways, and has shaped and moulded who I am today as a leader. So just to really value early years as the career path. It's not an academic career choice, that it's hugely valuable. So it's about really encouraging people to say it's not a fallback career, that actually the day-to-day is a hard job, it's hard going sometimes, but if your passion and enthusiasm is there to be proud of early years, and to be proud to be part of early years, and not to feel like it's just babysitting as well, but I think getting as much experience, go in after school and spend an hour in the playrooms, volunteer over the holidays, read research. There's so much fascinating research out there just about the value of play, and how we as the adult can shape and mold little minds. So all the information's out there. It's just, I would say, just read as much, experience as much as you can, and just be willing to roll your sleeves up. It's a hard job sometimes, but it's hugely rewarding, and that's when you get that big smile and that big cuddle at the end of the day when you come into the playroom, or you first come in the morning. That's what it's all about. That's what we're there for.